presents Digging Much Deeper by Matt Sanders and Kevin Chilvers.
Good evening, I'm Dale Allen. Welcome to Digging Deeper. Tonight, we bring you a specially extended episode following the unlikely fortune of securing a guest who journalists across the globe would sacrifice their own nans to interview. A man in such demand that when I first heard we'd booked him, I just waved my hand away and carried on drinking. Yet, here we are. I'm talking, of course, about the legendary American actor Mr. Brian Breynolds, the only person so far to have won not only 3 BAFTAs and 4 Academy Awards, but also several Golden Globes, and a Grammy, and the Pulitzer Prize. And let's not forget the Booker Prize, a Brit Award, an MTV Music Video Award, 2 Nobel Peace Prizes, 3 Michelin stars, and also he famously won 2 of the WWE Royal Rumbles, even though he's not technically a wrestler. A man gifted with versatility as much as he is with talent. A man who was once allegedly referred to by Professor Stephen Hawking as a thoroughly good egg. In fact, we were also thrilled at the prospect of Mr. Breynolds being in the studio. We've organised this special feature-length extended live episode of Digging Deeper. That's right, listeners. Tonight we are live and extended and live. Sadly, as sometimes can be the way for Digging Deeper, there have been 1 or 2 hiccups already. Namely that Mr. Brian Breynolds, legendary actor, superstar and all-round good egg, isn't actually here yet. And don't forget, I said we're live and extended. Still, I'm hopeful. In fact, we had a message from him only about 20 minutes ago, which I'd like to play for you now if I may, partly to fill the time until he gets here and partly to prove Brian definitely is booked to appear on the show. Take a listen to this.
I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
And if you're able to gain any information from that beyond Brian being on his way, then you're more attentive listeners than anyone on this entire production team. That's not even the weird part. The weird part is the message went on for 17 minutes and 42 seconds, and at no point did he say where he is, what's holding him up, or when he's going to be here. Instead, Brian Breynolds simply sang a near 18-minute song with a very repetitive message that he's on his way. I'm hoping not to play you the whole thing unless I have to, because if I'm honest, it's a tough listen. However, like I said, we're both live and extended, so I'll do whatever it takes to reach the end credits. So, with that in mind, I'm joined for now by a guest I quite simply met in the canteen 8 minutes ago, although she swears she's been coming here weekly for the past 3 or 4 years in the hope of getting on to Digging Deeper, because she allegedly has a very interesting story to tell.
Quite right, Dale. I really have led something of a remarkable life, and it's a full 4 years I've been coming here now in attempts to discuss it.
I'm not finished.
Oh, very well. Do continue.
Like I was saying, listeners, I'm joined by a woman I met in the canteen who, overhearing me talking with my production assistants that Brian still isn't here yet, so that we don't actually have a guest to interview, immediately leapt up from her seat, charged towards me, and threw hot coffee over my crotch.
One has to stand out if one wishes to be noticed, Dale.
I'm still talking.
Yes, of course.
So somehow, in the midst of me screaming and cursing at the scolding agony, this woman was inexplicably mic'd up and brought into the recording studio before I even had a chance to call my agent. Or a lawyer. Or a paramedic.
I really do have an interesting story to tell, Dale.
Fine. Whilst I sit uncomfortably in hot, wet pain, why don't you tell us who you are and why anyone should care?
Good evening, Dale. My name is Muriel St. Clair, and can I just say what an utter pleasure it must be for you to have me here on your show tonight.
The pleasure's all yours, Muriel, I'm sure.
Thank you.
What brings you to Digging Deeper?
Well, Dale, as I said before, I have led a fascinating life, which makes, I'm sure, for a rather interesting story.
Define interesting.
I, Dale, have written and published a current total of 2 books.
Of course you have.
My first was greeted worldwide with phenomenal acclaim and both critical and commercial success.
And the second?
Well, that unfortunately hasn't been received so well just yet.
Oh, good. Let's start there.
Well, the book is titled The Importance of Understanding.
Right.
I wrote it after reading a fascinating piece in The Guardian about how we have all become so used to processed and prepackaged food now that people are no longer able to recognize source ingredients when seeing them out in the wild, so to speak.
How do you mean?
I mean that in such a fast-paced world of convenience through thumbnail and processing information through tiny screens, people largely have no idea of what their food looks like in its original form, or how their meals came to be sourced.
I see. So it's a book about food?
Exactly, Dale. Do you know, for example, that ham, bacon, pork, and sausages all originate from the same animal?
Pigs. Yes, I have heard that. Hang on, why is your book called The Importance of Understanding? Shouldn't it be called The Importance of Understanding Food?
It was originally, though I couldn't fit the whole thing on the cover, so I had to shorten it.
Couldn't you have just used a smaller font?
Go big or go home, Dale. That's my motto.
Believe me, Muriel, as soon as you reach the closing credits, I'll be heading home as quickly as I can. That's my motto.
Probably via an off-licence, maybe a pharmacy, so I can tend to my agony.
But I don't think you understand the significance of my book, Dale.
I'm trying to, though it's a little tricky concentrating when I'm in this much pain.
Perhaps your focus should be on the wider concern. There are people out there who don't know what a banana looks like unless it comes served as ice cream.
Is that really true?
Only until more people read my book.
Right, so what I'm hearing is you've essentially written a guidebook that helps to identify food groups.
Precisely, Dale. You're finally beginning to catch on.
It's quite an interesting idea, actually. I mean, I've often been out on walks and seen things like rosemary, sage, or rocket growing in the wild, and I've wondered if other people would recognise these ingredients if they found them growing naturally.
Exactly.
So why hasn't it been well received then? I thought this is the sort of garbage that would just fly off the shelves.
I have absolutely no idea, Dale. Perhaps you could tell me. I've got a copy in my bag, so you can see for yourself. Here.
What? Oh!
You didn't catch my book, Dale.
No, Muriel, I did not. Mostly because I didn't know you were going to throw it at me.
Ah.
However, it did land in my lap where, as I think I made clear earlier, I'm currently rather tender from when we first met.
I remember it well.
It's quite a big book, isn't it?
Over 1,700 pages, Dale. Each one adorned with a glorious photograph of the food type itself, along with a textual definition, description, and discussion of where the food can most likely be found.
Yes. And as I thumb my way through it now, Muriel, I think I'm beginning to understand what the problem might be.
Really? Oh, how exciting. Do tell.
Well, when you first described it, I was picturing something that might list foods in their more natural state. Herbs, seeds, berries, mushrooms, that sort of thing.
Oh, you won't find any of that rubbish in my book, Dale.
And so I'm learning. Your book, after a very lengthy foreword by one Mr. Kipling, starts on page 18 with a delightful picture of a pork pie.
Ah, yes. One of my favourites.
The description underneath, listeners, reads quite literally as follows. Pork pie, a tasty and nutritious savoury snack often associated with lunchtimes or truck drivers, can be found in fridges and petrol stations.
And what's wrong with that?
Well, for starters, do you really think nutritious is the most appropriate description?
Oh, Dale, mine isn't a calorie manual for fitness gurus. It's merely a reference guide designed to help identify food types.
Here, page 46, you've got a nice picture of a hot dog. The description underneath reads, a tasty and nutritious savoury snack often associated with street vendors and circuses, can be found at baseball games and in New York.
The key is in sourcing the right mustard, Dale. English mustard is far hotter than the squeezy American kind.
Page 192, spaghetti hoops, a tasty and nutritious savoury snack often associated with bolognese, can be found in supermarket cans and Italy.
That's right.
Muriel, I put it to you that what you've actually compiled here is an encyclopedia of junk food.
What on earth gave you that idea?
Well, page 268, Scotch egg, a delicious and nutritious savoury snack often associated with lunchtimes and camping. Can be found at picnics and in ladies' handbags.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are there any healthy foods in this book?
Yeah, I think you'll find carrots on the very next page.
Yes, page 269, carrot cake. A delicious and nutritious sweet snack often associated with fine dining and healthy living. Can be found in cupboards and at weddings.
There you are, you see. What more could you want?
Muriel, I think it's possible You're the most ridiculous guest we've ever had on this show, and please believe me when I say I've interviewed some absolute blithering idiots.
Oh, you're too kind, Dale. What do you think of my book?
A missed opportunity? Complete waste of everyone's time?
Surely you don't mean that.
No, those aren't my words, Muriel. I was just reading the review from the Times that you've inexplicably included in the front cover.
Contractual obligation. It's all politics.
Yes, but this book's filled with pictures of food that are all readily identifiable from the labels of the packaging that it comes in.
What's wrong with that?
Everyone knows what a Scotch egg looks like.
Ah, but do they, Dale? What about if you came across one out in the wilderness with no internet app to guide you? You've said so yourself. You've wondered if other people could identify foods you found growing naturally whilst out for a walk.
Yes, but I was talking about bay leaves and thyme and lemon balm, that sort of thing. I've never once, in all my years of nature walking, come across a small crop of wildly grown Scotch eggs.
Well, now if you ever do, you'll be able to identify them. All thanks to my book.
But that's complete nonsense. Even in your book, the picture is still in its wrapper, with a label across the middle clearly marked Scotch egg.
I'm afraid I don't follow.
Well, what do you think, listeners? Let's go to the phones and hear some of your thoughts, because I'm quickly losing the will to live. I'm keen to speak to literally anyone other than Muriel. Go ahead, caller. You're on Digging Deeper.
Oh, hello, Dale. Thank you for speaking with me. My name is...
Everything all right?
Apologies for that. I was just saying that my name is... My name is Hector Nonchalance, and I phoned in to say that...
Hector?
I do apologise. Unfortunately, I can be a little bit clumsy.
I quite understand, Mr. Nonchalance. Well, don't worry. I've known clumsy people too.
Goodness. You have?
My own sister. She's so clumsy that when planes have to fly anywhere near her, they choose different flight paths.
Crumbs.
So don't worry, I do understand. What were you going to say?
Well, I was listening to you and Muriel talking about her book, and I was thinking to myself how strange it is to have arrived at a point in history where...
Are you okay?
Oh yes, I was just sitting down.
Right. Go on.
I was thinking how strange it is to have arrived at a point in history where...
Look, why not just try sitting perfectly still until we've finished the call?
Oh yes, okay. A point in history where society as a whole seems to struggle now with basic concepts such as...
Are you still there, Hector? Hector?
I think I'd better go.
Well, that went about as well as anything else has done so far tonight, listeners, so perhaps we're going to leave the calls there for a moment. Meanwhile, my producer's frantically waving at me through the glass door there. Does that mean we've got an update on the whereabouts of Brian Breynolds? Yes, we have. Splendid. Right. What's that? There's a new message. Oh, yeah, I can see it on my screen. Well, this is a turn up for the book's listeners. I thought I was going to be stuck asking Muriel about her tawdry other book.
I'm sure you'll find it quite interesting, Dale.
I'm sure I won't. Luckily, Brian's hopefully letting us know where he is. Looks like it's a second answer phone message, and this one's 24 minutes and 58 seconds long. Let's kill some more time.
I'm running late. I'm running late. I'm running late.
Brilliant. Another solid masterpiece telling us everything we need to know. Thanks, Brian. Does it go on like this for the full 25 minutes? It does, yes. My producer's nodding. Wonderful.
I'm still here, though.
Terrific. What a perfect evening this is shaping up to be.
Oh, thank you, Dale. I must admit to feeling rather a little smitten with you also.
What's the title of your other book, Muriel?
It's called I've Buried 135 Husbands and No One's Rumbled Me Yet.
What?
It's called I've Buried 135 Husbands and No One's Rumbled Me Yet. It's the unfortunately pitiful tale of my own tragic life, doomed to multiple marriages, only to be sadly widowed each and every time.
You've been married 135 times?
That's right, Dale, and on every occasion my husband has tragically passed, leaving me to lament my sadness alone.
Yeah. Muriel, I wouldn't be doing my job properly if I didn't at least check in with you with the last part of your title. and no one's rumbled me yet?
Quite correct, Dale. Not one person. Or not a single sausage, if you will, just to plug my other book once more.
No. Let's stay with this one. You've finally started to get interesting.
Thank you, Dale. I thought I caught a sparkle shimmering in your eye.
That's probably pain, Muriel. Pain from you throwing a hot cup of coffee and then a great big book directly at my crotch.
Perhaps your loins are burning with passion for me.
Nope, they're just burning.
Oh.
Maybe we could return to your book?
Of course, Dale. Do you need help identifying what a pizza looks like?
No, I don't mean the encyclopedia of convenience food. I was talking about your account of being married and widowed 135 times.
Oh, yes, that. What would you like to know?
Well, firstly, you said earlier the book's been both critically and commercially successful.
Very much so, Dale, very much so. 100 million copies sold worldwide. Oof. Easily double that in digital format. And there's already a film in the making, loosely based upon my life.
Seriously? What's it called?
135 weddings and 135 funerals.
Extraordinary. I'm almost sad we spent so much time banging on about pork pies and Scotch eggs.
Curiously enough, Dale, a pork pie features in this book also.
How come?
Chapter 84, My Dear Husband Peter, passed away on a pork and pickle pie poisoned with peppers and paprika.
Poisoned with peppers and paprika?
That's right. I'm afraid he was terribly allergic.
I see. Hang on, so is each chapter based on a different husband then?
Correct again, Dale. 135 chapters for 135 husbands, all tragically taken before their prime.
Astounding. Have you got a copy with you? I'd love to have a flick through.
Oh, yes, of course. I've got one here in my bag. Hang on. Oh, bother. I can't seem to find it. Perhaps I didn't bring a copy with me after all.
Well, that's rotten luck. I think it might have actually been an interesting read.
Oh, here we go. Catch!
Oh!
Dale, your catching skills really are appalling.
Yes, I'm not so sure it's my catching skills, Muriel. It's more that you keep hurling things at my crotch. That is the third time this evening.
Perhaps the universe is drawing us together, Dale.
Well, I'd be happy for it just to pause for a moment, at least until the blinding, burning, bruising pain's gone down in my groin.
Oh, very well. But let's not wait too long, hey?
Maybe we'll just have a look through your book. It's awfully heavy, isn't it?
2,056 pages. It's even bigger than my food manual.
Right, let's have a look. Chapter 16, Vincent.
Ah, yes. Poor dear Vincent. We were only married 11 days before he was tragically found in our back garden, face down in the koi pond.
I'm so sorry. That's horrible.
Yes. The curious part was that he'd somehow managed to tie both hands behind his back before he drowned. Poor man.
Uh-huh. Muriel, where were you when Vincent passed?
I was in the house listening to the wireless. There was a fantastic programme on about gardening.
Right. Here, chapter 29, The First Nigel. The First Nigel?
I've been married to 14 Nigels in my time, Dale. All of them now deceased.
Wow. How did the first one die?
He too was found in the koi pond. Tragic, really.
Were his hands also tied behind his back?
Oh, no, not at all. Although he had apparently suffered a rather nasty clonk on the noggin prior to falling in.
Had he now? And where were you?
I was in the house listening to the wireless. There was a fantastic programme on about home renovation.
Right. Chapter 30. Terence.
Oh, yes, Terence. Such an absolute lamb, right until the end.
And what happened to him?
Alas, he was found on our wedding night, face down in the back garden. Poor man.
In the koi pond?
Indeed. He was trying to make it safer after what had happened to poor Nigel number 1. Ghastly affair.
Muriel, have all your husbands been found face down in the koi pond?
Oh, no, Dale. Not even half of them. It would make for incredibly uninspired reading if they had all passed on in exactly the same fashion.
Would it, though?
Some of them fell down mine shafts. Some of them had their brake lines in their car mysteriously severed. A few died in their sleep, and over 40 of them have never been found.
40?
You should really buy the book, Dale. I try to tell you it's an interesting read.
And where were you each time?
Largely in the house, listening to the wireless. I do enjoy it so. It's actually how I first came to hear your radio programme.
Right. Muriel, don't you think it's a little strange that all 135 husbands of yours have either passed on in bizarre circumstances or have gone missing entirely?
Oh, Dale, you sound exactly like the police.
Good, I'm glad they asked these questions too, because I was beginning to worry they hadn't.
Like I've said time and time before, I'm merely an unfortunate victim to the cruel heartache of multiple widowhood.
So why does your book title include the words, and no one's rumbled me yet?
Because no one has, Dale. Try to pay attention.
I think this is a good place for a break, listeners. I don't know about anyone else. I need some alcohol.
Coming this summer, two legendary heroes battle for possession of a small, narrow footbridge.
You shall not pass!
No! You shall not pass!
No, it is you who shall not pass!
Actually, I think you are the one who shall not pass!
Excuse me,
What?
I was just wondering if I could come past.
No!
The Unpassable Bridge. In cinemas July, then direct to streaming about half an hour later. Rated 12A for mild explosionism.
And we're back, listeners. Still waiting for the legendary Brian Breynolds and still chatting with Muriel Psychopath.
St. Clair.
Sorry, Muriel St. Clair.
And meanwhile, I'm still waiting on a hot cup of coffee.
And as I said, you're going to have to wait a little longer since I refuse to be in the same room with you and a hot cup of coffee given what happened earlier.
Oh, Dale, don't you feel something between us?
Yes, it's called caution, trepidation and fear.
I'm not hearing a marriage proposal.
And you're not likely to, since I can't wait for this interview to be over so I never have to see you again.
Give it time.
Hang on, are you genuinely saying you're now looking for husband number 136?
Well, yes, of course I am. I'm simply not used to being alone for very long.
With the utmost respect, Muriel, do you imagine there'll be much in the way of romantic interest when your book could be arguably described as a woman with a significantly shady history?
That sounds like slander to me, Dale.
No, I'm merely quoting from the back cover here where it says, "This woman has a significantly shady history. Reading her book is the most terrifying thing I've ever done. Stephen King." Brackets, not that one. Close brackets.
I think you'll be romantically interested, Dale. You just don't know it yet.
Right. Meanwhile, my producer is frantically waving at me through the glass. Yes, there's another notification on my screen, which can only mean... yes, there's a further update from Brian Breynolds. Hopefully there's still a chance of salvaging this episode. Let's hear your update, Brian.
I'm on the tube. I'm on the tube.
Great. Brian's on the tube. Hang on, this message is 43 minutes long. That's not only 2 minutes short of a complete circuit of the Circle Line, but it also hasn't been 43 minutes since his last message. How can that be?
I think you're focusing on the wrong guest, Dale.
I'm trying to.
Oh, Dale, what I'd give to be alone one night with you and a shovel.
Well, thankfully the phones are lighting up again, so let's chat to other people instead. Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Dale, it's Eric. Eric Recorder. I'm speaking to you from the same side of the grave that you're on.
That is always a good start, Eric. Welcome to Digging Deeper. What did you want to talk about? And bear in mind, we can talk about anything you like. It really doesn't have to be about Muriel.
It's about Muriel.
Of course it is.
Would it be all right if I spoke to Muriel directly?
Sure, go ahead. Why not?
Muriel, my love, my name's Eric.
Hello, dear.
I was listening to the show, and when you came on, I just knew I had to phone in and speak to you.
Of course you did, Eric. And who can blame you? In search of a wife, are you?
No. Well, not exactly. You see, I'm a medium.
Well, that really shouldn't be a problem. Between you and I, very few of my past husbands were large.
No. I mean, I can see into the psychic realm and communicate with loved ones who are no longer here.
Oh, for crying out loud. How much longer is this episode going to go on for?
I don't think I quite understand what you mean, Eric. Why would one want to communicate with the past when it's the future that lies ahead?
Yeah, I understand that, my love. It's just ever since this episode started, a great number of your deceased husbands have come to me house one by one, and now me lounge is full of ghosts. They've packed out me hallway, and there's another dozen or so along the stairs. What's that, Pam? Pam? Say again, Pam. All right. Thank you, Pam.
And who is Pam?
Me spirit guide. Pam Ayres.
And what does she want?
There's another expired husband here.
If you don't mind me saying so, Eric dear, this does all sound like a mixture of toffee, poppycock, and hokum. However, the answer ultimately remains a firm yes. I would still allow you to take me out for dinner.
Oh, that's very kind, Muriel, very kind. Although it's not actually me who wants to speak to you. What's that? Say again, Pam. All right, thank you, Pam, thank you. Number 67's arrived.
Ah, Robert IV. What does he want?
Let me see if I can channel him. Hang on. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's in me. Oh, he's inside me now. Oh, he's... Muriel. It's me, Robert the Fourth.
You still sound exactly like Eric Recorder.
Yeah, ignore that. I assure you it's me, pet.
Oh, well, I'm convinced.
Robert the Fourth, could I just cut in and ask if by any chance you were found face down in the koi fish pond?
Yeah, I was, yeah. Damn, oh, my mouth tastes of water. Water and fish.
I'm still not convinced. That could be any number of men.
Fair point.
Oh, Muriel, love. I've come to you today from across the gulf of another dimension to ask you a very specific question.
Very well. Yes, I'll marry you, but I want the wedding to be today.
Today?
No, love, you've misunderstood me. See, I've already been married to you once. I've come here to ask, why did you do it, Muriel? Why did you kill me?
Well, then, this is more like it, listeners. Yeah, why did you kill Robert the Fourth then, Muriel?
I've no idea what you mean. I've never killed anyone.
That's not what your book infers.
Implies, Dale. It's the reader who infers.
Oh, my mistake.
But you did, Muriel. You did, Muriel. You walloped me with that cricket bat while I was feeding the fish.
Nonsense. I was in the house listening to the wireless. There was a fantastic programme on about cricket.
But it was you, Muriel. When he had me back turned, you quietly crept up behind me and you...
Well, I don't know quite what happened there, listeners, though it seems we've lost poor Eric.
I mean, that's one way of putting it, listeners. Another way would be that Muriel just took off her shoe and threw it at my computer, ending the call.
How utterly preposterous, Dale. I've no idea what you're talking about. There's simply no proof.
Mm-hmm. How about the fact that one of your shoes is off and one of your shoes is on?
Oh, very well.
Oh, my crotch.
There. Now both my shoes are off.
For the love of everything, Muriel, will you please just leave my tender parts alone?
Oh, Dale, why won't you respond to my mild flirtations?
Just off the top of my head, I can think of 135 reasons.
But, Dale, you would make such a fantastic addition to my collection of past husbands.
And why me?
Because I would like to write a new book. This one would detail a collection of celebrity husbands.
Celebrity husbands?
That's right. I would start with you, then a couple of Hemsworths, Depp, Pitt, and if there's time, Clooney.
Muriel, I think I'd better make it clear, live on the radio, just in case this is ever needed for any evidence. I'm flattered by your offer, although I'm not going to be marrying you, nor would I urge anyone else to do so.
Very well, Dale. Then I'm afraid you leave me only the one last course of action.
And what's that?
I'm going to undo my blouse.
Oh, please don't. Oh, you have.
There. What do you think of that?
I think I'm more scared than I was earlier. What is that?
Strapped to my body, Dale, is an explosive device of the most catastrophic proportions.
Of course it is. And there's me spending the day thinking I might actually get to interview the legendary Brian Breynolds tonight.
I'm going to ask you one more time to marry me, and if you decline, I shall blow everything in this room to smithereens.
I see. Would that include you and me?
Of course it would. Everything within a 3-foot radius of myself.
You sure? Doesn't look that big.
Oh, Dale, you may not have much experience with explosives, though I assure you I am something of an expert.
Actually, that's where you're wrong, Muriel. You see, I don't know how much back catalogue you've heard of this show, but it might surprise you to learn that you wouldn't be the first guest to explode on Digging Deeper.
How utterly absurd. I refuse to believe you.
Well, I'm afraid it's true. Granted, you would be the first guest to explode using an actual explosive, but it actually wouldn't be the first time the cleaners have had to do overtime in this recording studio. In fact, we've had so many guests explode on Digging Deeper that all you'd be doing would be raising the insurance premium. Again.
Hogwash. Nonsense. Nothing but lies.
Well, why don't we try it? I've got nothing else to do.
Very well. Will you marry me?
No. And that was Muriel Sinclair, listeners, a woman with a somewhat sketchy past, now in the company of 135 deceased husbands. Both her books are available in shops and online. Meanwhile, in the last few seconds of this show, it looks like we've had another message from Brian. Unbelievably, this one is an hour and 14 minutes long. Let's just hear a little snippet.
I'm in the pub. I'm in the pub. Amen.
Good night.
You have been listening to Digging Much Deeper, written, produced, recorded and edited by Matt Sanders and Kevin Chilvers. Promotional material by Laurie Stone. If you enjoyed this episode, then give us a like and subscribe wherever you heard us, and follow us on Instagram at Cat Noir Podcast. Join us again next time for a brand new story. Bye!
Coming this summer. They said they could never make a sequel, but they did.
You shall not pass! No! You shall not pass!
Hello, Bridge Guardians.
What?
It's me, Des from the council. I've just come to tell you the bridge is being closed for repairs.
No!
The Unpassable Bridge 2, closed for repairs. Diversions are available.